Hello there. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, we are still working on the question paper of May 2024, and we are going to look at a question on communication principles. That is our question. But first question is define the term communication. And you see that our question is for 5 marks, so it requires a detailed explanation in terms of communication. So basically, a communication it is commonly defined as the transmission of information. So whenever we have got information that is moving from one person or place to another, is the process of communication. So a process by which a message or information is sent from one place or person to another. So at the end of the day, we should see that the elements of communication is there should be a sender, there should be a receiver that is going to receive the message, and also we're going to see that there will be a feedback in terms of the receiver now responding to the message and then send a feedback to the sender. So through the process, we are also going to notice some barriers to communication that are going to bar the transmission of that message from the sender to the receiver. So barriers become also element of communication, and also we are going to see the processes of encoding and decoding taking place through the communication process, whereby encoding, that's where we're going to have the message being transmitted by the sender to the receiver, and then when the receiver receives the message and the receiver decodes the message. So that's what we have in terms of communication. So we have got a brief description that we have according to this video of communication, which reads communication is a two-way process where a sender encodes and sends a message via a medium to a receiver who decodes and responds by giving feedback. So basically, you see that this is the explanation that we have in terms of communication. So moving on to the next part of our question, which is going to be our 1.2. Listening is a useful skill when dealing with customers. Explain a critical, in brackets, analytical listening. So we need to try to understand what is uh, critical listening. So critical listening basically it occurs when you still want to understand what the other person is saying, but also have a reason or a responsibility to evaluate what is being said. So the process of evaluating what has been said is critical listening. But also, obviously, you have to fully understand what has been said, and then you evaluate. That is our critical listening. So if you go to our other section, we are saying critical listening determine aim of message or analyze message that is does it achieve purpose. Ask for repeat if you're not clear. Don't accept everything you hear. So in critical listening, you do not have just to accept what is being said, but you have to analyze it and see the relevance of what you are hearing or receiving. So that's what we have. Then I will move on to appreciative or empathic listening. So empathic listening, this is listening to understand another person's perspective. So you are understanding the side of the story of the sender of the information. So the description that we have here is saying this you first understand, then respond and or react. That is empathic listening. Then we move on to the next one, which is attentive or discriminative listening. So on attentive or discriminative listening, we are saying you have to identify main points, how it can benefit you. So by listening attentively, you identify the main points, and then you try to see how can it benefit you. That is attentive, and then in brackets we have got discriminative and listening. So moving on to the next part, that is 1.3. How can one improve listening skills? And name 3 points. So obviously, for you to improve listening skills, you have to listen carefully. That's very important, so that you uh, improve your listening skills. Listen with an open mind, no judgments. Make notes, summarize, make notes of summaries of everything said. Repeat it back to speaker to check. Let speaker first finish speaking. Ask carefully planned questions. So those are some of the ways that you can improve your listening skills. So moving on to the next part, which is the true or false section. How indicate whether the whether the following statements are true or false by writing only true or false next to the question number, that is 1.4.1 to 1.4.5. Then the first part of our question of our 1.4, verbal and non-verbal communication must support, not contradict each other, which is very true. Remember, when you are conveying a message and then you try to support the message that you are conveying orally by using non-verbal communication, for example, using signs, you are reinforcing that message so they support each other. So that's what we have. So we're saying 1.4.1, we have got true. Then 1.4.2, most of the information we convey each day is non-verbal form, which is correct. Mostly sign language is the mostly used um, uh, form of communicating in most cases, especially when the proximity is not very near. When we are communicating with a person which is a bit far, obviously you are going to use non-verbal communication. So we are saying true. Then communication is a science. It's also true. You'll notice that it includes informing non-experts about scientific findings. That is raising the public awareness of interests in science. So basically, you see that science communication involves influencing people's attitudes and behaviors. So within the processes as explained, we see that communication is a science. So we are saying true. And then 1.4.4, a customer complaint on social media is considered direct communication. So I would say that the statement that we have is false. Remember, direct communication, it has no hidden context or meanings. So we are going to notice that no further explanations are required when there is direct communication. It's something that is going to be clear. So in terms of a complaint, it means there are further explanations that are going to be needed. Here is obviously when the complaint is being addressed. So we have false. Then on 1.4.5, we are saying face-to-face oral communication is considered the most effective means of communication. So remember, face-to-face oral communication, we are going to observe various ways so that you can understand. Remember, there is the issue of the person that you are listening to. There's going to be non-verbal communication that is also going to reinforce what is being communicated, which is going to make you further understand. And also, clarity is enhanced when you are having a face-to-face communication. So basically, you're going to say that 1.4.5 now becomes true. So this becomes the last part of our question according to this video. So thank you for listening, and hopefully the video was helpful.